This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet.
We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter.
Yeah, I want.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it.
It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
And showtime it is. Hey folks, how the hell is everybody? It's Wednesday, right here. Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, just going over a few things before we start the show. Glad you can make it for those of you just tuning in, for those of you who are about to tune in, and for those of you who'll be listening to this or watching this at a later date. It's all good, as long as you do. Hope everybody is doing well. I really do. As always, I wish that every week on everyone. I like to see people doing well. I do. Unlike some who feed off the pain of others. I don't know. I think there's way too much of that going on, unfortunately. But again, hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in and watching Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday, like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. God willing. I say that a lot because I mean it. We got a great show tonight, as far as I'm concerned. I think tonight is going to be another, I'm going to bring you another informational awareness, which for some will say, thank you, Peter. And for others, they'll say, you're a friggin' idiot again. But, look at that. Somebody's already commenting already. How sweet. There we go. Hello, Peter G. Hey. Thanks for commenting. I like when people comment. Sometimes people are shy. It's really weird. Even to make comments or to type it, they're shy. It just drives me. I don't get it. Maybe because I'm used to this, but it's just don't be shy. I want to know you're out there. Or, you got something to say it, good or bad. I can handle it. I'm a professional. I can handle it. But thank you for tuning in. And tonight I'm going to be doing one more time, bringing you things that I feel that so many people, and I do feel this way, and I'm doing it for the unaware. I'm bringing you things that you may not get to see normally. And, from watching TV, and I'm trying to bring some things to light because I truly believe that we are being led down a very wrong road, and it's working for a chosen few. And so I feel like I have an obligation to try to bring this to a lot of people's attention. You never know who's watching. I've learned that a lot. You just don't know. And I have no qualms over this. I'm proud to do this because I truly believe that there's a lot of misconceptions that are going on in today's media. And I'm not even asking you to believe me. I'm just bringing it to your awareness to consider it as an alternative to the stuff you're being fed. Does that make sense? You don't have to believe it, but I'd just like you to keep what I bring to you in the back of your mind. Now, there's a lot of people that I get the attaboys, thanks, Peter, right on, love what you do. But you get that small percentage, and it is small, but they're loud. And, I pay attention to that because I'm saddened by it. But I'm not asking you to think like me at all. I'm just bringing some things that I'm saying, be aware that there may be something else going on, or there may be another story to this, to whatever I'm pertaining to. And you might want to take it into consideration because things are not what they appear to be. I too had to find that out the hard way. More than 10 years ago, though. So now I think I'm fairly well seasoned at it. Still, I don't know everything. There's my boy. What up, my ninja? There we go. Now I can officially start. I see you smirking. But I just feel like there's things I need to do. And I never would have thought this several years ago, but it is what it is. So tonight, I'm bringing you some things. I think you need to stick around. I'm asking you to please pay attention because this is important. This is so important on how so many have been manipulated. Wow. God, I think I can't remember whether I took my medication or I took too much of it. One or the other. Did you ever take something and forget if you took it? Question. No, I don't take any medication. That was a joke. But when I had to, there was times when I took it and then I didn't remember if I did take it. Wow. Like, I don't know. But I just feel like the media has really, the media makes a living on chaos. If they only have stories, what they call a slow news day, if they only do stories on puppies and, happy stuff, they're out of business. They need tragedy and chaos. And so you'll get glued behind the TV. What's going to happen next? Oh my God, the sky is falling. And it's sad what we've become. I don't rely on them anymore. I've learned a lot. There's a lot of people out there that actually do know what's going on. So that's a big deal. But that's what's happening tonight. Okay. In just a few short minutes. Easter. Can I talk about Easter real quick? Thank you. Easter is this Sunday. Easter. And for a change, it's been several years now. I don't even know how many years, but it's for several years. I can honestly say I'm glad that the Greek Orthodox Easter finally falls into sync this year, this Sunday, with the American Easter. It's a long story, not even a long story. I've told the story many a times, even the story about me getting my ass beat on Easter Sunday for being late for dinner from my father, because Easter was a serious holiday for him. That was probably his most religious holiday, more so than Christmas, anything else, Easter. He was Greek to the bone. Think about him every day. But a lot of times the Greek Orthodox Easter does not fall in with American Easter because many, many moons ago, the Catholics changed the calendar. Even Christmas and stuff is not, we celebrate it the same, but there's a few messed up things. And we followed the Jewish calendar, and it goes by moons and when Lent starts. And that's how we go. And the Catholic calendar is a little bit different. And sometimes Greek Easter is a week apart. Sometimes it's 2 weeks apart. I've seen it as far as a month apart because of the road. I don't know. The moons, when full moons and all that kind of stuff. That's how they used to measure time. They didn't have watches. So anyway, this year it falls into sync, and I can honestly say happy Easter to all, unless you're Jewish, happy Passover and all that. But it's a very big holiday for many people in many ways. And I just wish you all, again, a great happy Easter for those of you with families and things like that. It's the Easter Bunny, when you have little kids, it's, you make it fun for the kids and all. In fact, I still love looking at those pictures of my daughter and when she was little and the Easter baskets and all that kind of stuff. But it's a different meaning when you get older. It is. You're just thankful for being here, for one, as I am every day. But that's it. I just want to wish everybody happy Easter because I won't have that. I won't be able to do that next week because Easter will be over. So before, when we used to do the shows on Sundays, it would fall on an Easter Sunday, whichever Sunday it may have fallen on. But we don't do shows on Sundays anymore. It's been quite a while ago. So God bless everybody. Happy Easter, happy Passover, whatever you believe in or whatever you don't believe in, just happy. How about that? All right. Next, can we talk about these women that went up into space the other day? Can we talk about that for a minute? I just have to. They're making this big stink out of these, Katy Perry and Bezos's wife and all that. Like, they're astronauts. They went to the edge of space too, by the way. They didn't go through and go up into space. And there's a lot of questions going on because there's no doubt in my mind that half of this shit was rigged, staged, and I'll show you. But I get it. He's trying to do things. He wants to make space, going up into space, like a passenger thing, like we take a plane to go to someplace. So I get that, but this was just stupid. It just, I don't know whether he just had to do something because he felt he had to do something because Elon's doing real stuff. I don't know. But I'm going to play you this video. This is a little montage of some things that were just kind of fluky and goofy, and and these women are like, they're not astronauts. They were passengers. They didn't have to do anything. They just sat there, and they went to the edge of space. Years ago, how many years ago was that guy from? They did the what was it? He went up in like a balloon that went up to the edge of space, and he had a spacesuit on so he could breathe, basically, or an oxygen suit, not a spacesuit. And he went up to the, that was a Red Bull, like the Red Bull sponsored that. And he parachuted from the edge of space, before like 60 miles up, and he parachuted down. That's basically where they went. So he spent all this money on this rocket that really is a funny looking rocket. I mean, it just, I don't know. It's of all the designs you can have, you would think you can come up with something else. Something a little more aeronautical, but his rocket it looks like a phallic symbol. I don't know. It just does. But here, check this out, and then we'll talk about it for. I'm not going to give it too much time because basically he's getting a lot of publicity. Unfortunately, a lot of it's not really that good publicity. It's I don't know. It just blows my mind. But here, check this out, and then we'll go from there. But to me, you tell me if half of this wasn't pre-coordinated and a big stunt, and it's just phony feeling. It just feels so phony. They're all dressed up in their like Charlie's Angels outfits. Their hair and makeup is great. I'm at a loss for words, but what do you think? Here you go.
5, 4, command engine start. 2, 1, ignition. Liftoff. New Shepard has cleared the tower.
How do we know they even left Earth? The Blue Origin takes off and disappears for 11 minutes and comes back? Come on, man. I don't know if I really buy that. I've waited in Chick-fil-A lines longer than it took for them to return to Earth. They really had Oprah out there crying when they returned, like they just cured cancer or saved humanity. All it really was a glorified $28 million Uber ride back and forth. Take a look at this return footage. Does this not look a little fake to you? A little CGI? Like it was done in a studio or something? I don't know, something's just not adding up to me. Can you imagine how much money they wasted on this? Rich people are so out of touch. Think TikTok, is this just rich people flexing? Or is this a space mission that's actually going to help humanity?
It's going to come out of her mouth.
another live stream of the very same event right here, and we did want to share this with you. There is no audio attached to this particular live stream, but we do see Jeff Bezos right there, the CEO, of course, and founder of Blue Origin. They are still waiting for the door to open, and that is when all
Can I ask our brand new astronauts a question? Where's their partially pressurized suit and parachute pack? Where are their helmets? Where are their protective gloves? I don't see any of this but a bunch of dolled up hair, which would have never had a helmet on it. They catapulted into space, rocketed into space with no protective gear on, going at speeds faster than an airplane. And you mean to tell me that all of this right here is real? Yeah, not buying it. Not at all. Because there's no way any of this is real. If you're really an astronaut, you would have all the protective gear and protective covering to make sure your body is shielded from the enormous pressure you're going to be going through going up into space. Not buying this Blue Origin.
Okay, now I want you to watch the hatch door open from the inside. The lady runs over there real quick, says, no, 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 shuts the door back, tries to stand in front of it.
Look, I'm not saying they didn't go up. I'm not saying that, I heard some people going, how come the capsule isn't scorched and all that kind of stuff? Basically, because they didn't re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. They never left the Earth's atmosphere. So I'm going to take that into account. But you would think that you might need a oxygen source. Like, is it just in the capsule? And I mean, I get it. This is like going up. You ever see those things where you can go up in a plane that goes right up to as high as it can go, and when it goes down, it goes to zero gravity, and people float around for like a minute or two inside the fuselage of a plane. That's basically what the same exact thing they did, except he just spent a couple of $1 billion doing it, which was stupid. It was stupid. I don't know the exacts, but the door, when they're on the ground, that capsule looks like it's something I made, when I was a kid in my backyard. When he opened the door, the hatch opens from the inside. They got busted on that, and then they closed it. They wanted to film and stage this whole welcome back to Earth. I'm sure you've seen things with them kissing the ground and other big welcome back to Earth. Thank God we made it. Speeches and all this bullshit. I mean, I'm sorry, just crap. We're living in a world of crap. And then they open the door, and that person tells, close the hatch. And then Bezos goes with this tool that's used to open up the hatch, supposedly, because you need this tool to open the hatch because it's sealed airtight. And then when it opened, it kind of bounced like it was made out of styrofoam or something with a little bit of weight to it. Like you're opening a car door. But yet I know things need to be lightweight and all that, but come on. So I don't know. All I know is it's just a bunch of bullshit. It's going to go away. He did get publicity, okay? No doubt. He got publicity, all right. Not exactly good publicity. But I hope he's happy. A lot of people are saying with all that money you just spent, you could have done something good in the world. I know he wants to try to build his space travel, and he sends up those things, but please don't make these women out like they're friggin' rocket scientists, because they're not. It was just a stunt. It was just stupid. I guess there's a small portion of the population that still likes and loves that kind of stuff. It's like, I just got through talking to my daughter about that yesterday. We got to spend some time together, which was great. And we're talking about, my daughter was listening to some podcast, and it was like a good podcast, like something that she's learning stuff from. She listens to a lot of that stuff. And I'm really glad that you're not spending all your time watching The Bachelor and all this just crap. Although she did tell me that she does like watching some show called Love on the Spectrum. Now, this is where her sense of humor kicks in, and I'll take full credit for that. Love Off the Spectrum or something like that. And it's a show about these Down syndrome people that are dating. And I blame the parents for putting these kids or these people into these situations, making money off of it. But whatever, it's probably funny as hell, because I've always said, these people with Down syndrome don't know they have any type of Down syndrome. They're just as normal as they think normal is. You don't know any different. And they put them in, and they're dating other Down syndrome people. Now, and she says it's pretty entertaining. So, okay, I get that. That's a little bit. Let's have a little fun. But the Bachelors and the Bachelorette and all this predetermined, it's crap. Okay, it's crap. I'm sorry. It's again. There's a God bless you, the chosen few that want to sit there and waste your time on it. Mindless stuff. Speaking of mindless stuff. Thank you for watching. I want to remind you real quick, please, as much as I love and admire you for taking the time to watch this show and or listen to it on podcast, but please, I need you to subscribe. Please go to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, go to the official Facebook Peter G Show page, hit the follow button or the like button, whatever it is. Plus, on top of that, you can comment live, and I can see it live if you're commenting, although nobody's commenting. Everybody's too busy watching, which I get it. I hear you. You want to see what's up? What's up? But please subscribe. I need that. It's just, I got to suffice the business side of this thing, which I hate. To me, it's all about us. I know that there's 5 times as many that watch, maybe more, than are subscribed. And I'm guilty of it too. I watch a ton of stuff and I don't follow everything. I just don't. I can't. I have hard enough time just trying to watch anything out of the ordinary. But please, do me a solid. If you think, there's any worth in you showing up and paying attention, and just please hit the subscribe button. And also, for those of you who are busy, I appreciate the ones who put an earbud in their ear. They Google Peter G Show podcast and listen to the audio versions of this show and over 400 shows, because a lot of people are busy. There's still people driving home from work right now in California because it's just after 6 o'clock. All right. So you can listen to the shows. On demand, all these shows, whether you're watching them visually or whatever, they're all on demand. You can watch them whenever you want, but please do that for me, okay? I really appreciate that. That's all I ask of you. Besides, thank you for watching. But hit the subscribe button. It's free. It costs nothing. It takes very little effort to push that button. And that's what I got to say about that. All right, here's what we're going to do. I got some good stuff for you tonight, so please don't go anywhere. I would just want to hear from our good friends over at Clean Star Products and their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver, because let's face it, it makes sense to save money. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Hello, it's Tyrone Thompson here with Clean Star Products, and we're here with William.
High-end car service.
And we've just serviced his Cadillac Escalade 2024, and we're going to be giving it a go to see what kind of results he'll be getting in his fuel mileage and any performance differences, and be checking with him later.
All right.
Thank you, William, for participating in our environmental program. We're here with High-End Car Services, my friend William, who's been using DX1 for a small time now. What kind of results have you been getting?
Up to 45.1 miles per gallon best results, and the engine has been quieter, and I can definitely feel the power in the engine. I have a diesel.
Thank you so much. We're going to keep going with the program and check in with you later. We appreciate you. The Long Life Engine Program with DX1 Driver is the only safe environmental product for your high mileage engine. DX1 is a non-toxic, clean-burning oil that goes into your fuel and your engine oil, providing lubricity for gasoline and diesel engines. You save on average 10% gasoline and 15% diesel fuel consumption. Call now for a price quote and place your order today. It's the Long Life Engine program from Clean Star Products and Tyrone Thompson.
That's right, Clean Star Products. All I got to say about this, and I say it every week because it is the God's honest truth. 2 words, it works. Peace. I use it myself. Made a believer out of me. I wouldn't talk about something if I didn't know and trust it to say, okay, it does. Putting my name on it. It's simple. Tyrone makes it sound like it's complicated servicing a car or whatever, but it's real simple. You know, all you do is take one of these little bitty bottles right here. This is for your average sedan. Okay. If you have a truck or SUV, it's one of these bottles. You know, this one's a little bit bigger because it's for V8s. This is for 6 cylinders, 4 cylinders, all that. You take either one of these bottles, the ones that suits the need for your vehicle. When you get a fresh oil change, you put this in the crankcase with the oil. Stays in the crankcase, and with the oil change, the entire oil change. So that's anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 miles, depending on what kind of car you drive. All right. Then every time you fill up your tank, you put one of these bottles, depending on which car you have, size, you put it in with a full tank of gas. Pour it in, put a full tank of gas in, and just drive. It's that simple. It's not hard. Anybody can do it. If you can pump gas in your car, you can do it. All you're doing is adding that little bottle. You will notice the difference within a few tanks full of gas. And again, don't believe me, that's okay. I don't expect you to, but here's what I want you to do, and I just screwed that up. There we go. Go to www.cleanstarproducts.com. Like Tyrone said, there's a number, and I'm putting it right here in front of you. Call that number. You're going to have questions. You might even get Tyrone himself. Call that number. Ask away all the questions that you have. They're going to answer your questions because they have a product that they truly believe in and that actually works. And after they answer all your questions, should you decide to order, here's the most important part. You are going to say, hey, I saw it on the Peter G Show. Why? Good question. Because if you decide to order and mention that you saw it on the Peter G Show, they are going to send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. Come on. That's 5 bottles for the price of 4. And this is the perfect starter kit. And it's a deal. You're getting an extra bottle for free. And nothing in life is free, you know, but this is a introductory offer, and take advantage of it. The good thing is again, why 5 bottles is a great deal? Because you're going to put 1 in your fresh oil change, and then that's going to give you 4 tanks of gas. Put 4 bottles in with 1 bottle with every tank of fuel, and I'm telling you, within that range, you'll know, you'll see the difference. You will feel the difference in your car. I did. Probably about the 3rd tank, and then the 4th definitely made a believer out of me because I knew it. I didn't have to step on the pedal as hard. The car was going easier, and I did get better gas mileage because everybody has trip counters and things on their car, and I always pay attention to that because the city driving on mine definitely eats a lot of gas. It's a heavy vehicle, and so I always watch that to see what I'm doing and how I'm driving, things like that. But go to that number, call them, tell them you saw it on the Peter G Show, and they will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4, which makes a great starter kit. And that's just for saying you saw it on the Peter G Show. But on top of that, you'll be doing yourself a favor. Take care of your car. Cars are expensive. All right? Let them last longer. Let them run better. Who wants to pay money for repairs? All the above. It's a no-brainer. Do it. You'll be glad you did. All right? Okay, let's shift gears. How's everybody doing? Hanging in? We got some good... Pay attention now. This is where it's going to get deep, but simple. Where are we? Oh, I know what we got to do just before we get started here. All right. Happy Easter this Sunday. And again, I love you guys. I truly do. And thank you for watching. It means a lot to me. We were just going over things, and this is my 8th year of the Peter G Show. There's actually even more trying to get to this point. So I'm grateful. Truly am. So God bless you. Salute. Oh, smooth. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. Take that off. All right. Now we are officially ready to move forward. I'm sure there are some of you that are aware that 2 weeks ago, Bill Maher, comedian, liberal, self-proclaimed liberal, went and had dinner at the White House. I'm pretty sure a lot of you, I mean, it's all over the news. But then again, the reason I do all this is because I know there's so many people that don't even know. You're just busy living your life. I know life is a hustle. But I'm going to tell you, this is why I'm bringing it to your attention, because this is important. A week ago or 2 weeks ago, Bill Maher went to the White House and had dinner with the president, Kid Rock, and I believe Dana White, also the guy that's got the MMAs and all the fights and all that. And he went there, and again, if you know anything about Bill Maher and you know anything about our current president, the Orange Man, Trump, the ones that some people can't stand because the media has, taught you to hate the man, they go at it a lot at each other. Because again, I don't blame everybody. See, we have come into time when that man, our current president, before he was president, was loved by all the media. I've shown you the videotapes. This is what really gets me. This is why I'm so adamant about this. I don't care if you don't like his attitude or his personality. He's a business guy. He's definitely. I had a boss just like him, and deep down, my boss was a good guy. But when we were doing business, he'll rip your friggin' head off, and then he'll go, "It's just business, buddy," and I'm fuming, nerved up. He's walking by me 10 minutes later. And he's like, "Hey, buddy," and I'm going. I want to strangle you. But it's just business. And business is tough, and life is tough. So for years, Donald Trump has made more cameos on McDonald's commercials. He's been on The View. They all again, their words, I love video and I love tape because they have always, we love the Donald. They're all giving him a kiss when he comes onto the set, on the show. And now that since he's been president the first time and all that, because he took matters into his own hands to try to stop, didn't do as well the first time because he took on more than he can chew because he didn't realize how big the beast is. But this second time around, he's way smarter. And you can see it by what's going on right now. But the media still won't let up because they're bought and paid for. It's that simple. Whether you're going to get mad at me or not, I don't care. You'll figure it out eventually. And I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm just telling you that what's going to happen. And let Bill Maher tell you. But things are not what they seem. And the media is what influences you and puts all these thoughts and notions. They took this guy that Hollywood loved, and yeah, sure, he's had some business issues, and people say, oh, he didn't pay a bunch of contractors, and he, filed bankruptcy. If you have as many businesses as he does, you'd understand. But again, they have conditioned you by dripping on you and turning this guy who was well-loved into this monster, this maniac, and blah, blah, blah. Now, here's Bill Maher, a guy who totally didn't like him, but was big enough to go to the White House. Bill Maher was never invited to the presidents he supported. He's never been invited to the White House. So this time he was invited by his so-called enemy or a person he didn't agree with and personally, as far as he knew, didn't like. And I'm going to play this video. And this is a long little piece, but this is Bill Maher in his own words telling you play by play from the time he got there what really was going on and what really goes on. And that's the way it is. And then you guys judge for yourself, okay? But I'm playing this now because after we do this, I'm going to play a bunch of other stuff from the current events department of what's going on with us and how the media is just bashing, twisting, and lying. And a lot of people, not all of you, a lot of people believe it because you're through life, we used to trust the news. And I'm telling you, the news cannot be trusted. And what you take of this is totally on you. You don't want to believe anything? Don't. I'm still going to love you. We don't all have to agree on everything. I'm not even telling you to believe me. I'm telling you I'm giving you information to take into consideration. And if you don't believe it, just at least keep it in the back of your head. That's how it started with me. Their friends were telling me something. I kept it in the back of my head. And then all of a sudden, things started popping up, and I'm looking because now I'm somewhat aware. They opened that door a little bit, which led me to question. And then all of a sudden, more and more things started making sense. And then within a year or whatever, I'm going, holy crap. They had me too. So here, this is Bill Maher, and explaining and giving you his experience of his visit at the White House. So enjoy, and please take this into account, because this is a guy who hated the guy who is now singing a little bit, actually a lot of bit different of a story. So here you go.
And now for what I know you've all been waiting for, I'd like to give you my book report on my visit to the White House. Okay, as you know, 12 days ago I had dinner with President Trump, a dinner that was set up by my friend Kid Rock, because we share a belief that there's got to be something better than hurling insults from 3,000 miles away. And let me first say that to all the people who treated this like it was some kind of summit meeting, you're ridiculous. Like I was going to sign a treaty or something. I have no power. I'm a fucking comedian, and he's the most powerful leader in the world. I'm not the leader of anything, except maybe a contingent of centrist-minded people who think there's got to be a better way of running this country than hating each other every minute. So, thank you. Okay, so meet up in person. Maybe it'll be different. Spoiler alert, it was. First good sign, before I left for the Capitol, I had my staff collect and print out this list of almost 60 different insulting epithets that the president has said about me. Things like stupid, dummy, lowlife dummy, sleazebag, sick, sad, stone cold crazy. Really a dumb guy, fired like a dog, his show is dead. There's 60. I brought this to the White House because I wanted him to sign it, which he did. Which he did with good humor. And I know as I say that, millions of liberal sphincters just tightened. Oh my God, Bill, are you gonna say something nice about him? What I'm gonna do is report exactly what happened. You decide what you think about it. And if that's not enough pure Trump hate for you, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. So no, I didn't go MAGA. And to the president's credit, there was no pressure to. After we left the Oval Office, he showed me the little room off the office, you know, the one where Clinton used to. Okay. The blowjob room, okay? Well, not anymore. That's where they keep the merch now. It is. And he gave me a bunch of hats, but he didn't ask me to take a picture in one, which I appreciated. The guy I met is not the person who the night before the dinner shit-tweeted a bunch of nasty crap about how he thought this dinner was a bad idea and what a deranged asshole I was. I read it and thought, oh, what a lovely way to welcome someone to your house. But when I got there, that guy wasn't living there. Now, does Trump want respect? Of course, who doesn't? My friend said to me, what are you going to wear to the White House? I said, I don't know, but I'm not going to dress like Zelensky, I'll tell you that. But, okay. Just for starters, he laughs. I'd never seen him laugh in public, but he does, including at himself. And it's not fake. Believe me, as a comedian of 40 years, I know a fake laugh when I hear it. And I thank you for them. No. Okay, example. In the Oval Office, he was showing me the portraits of presidents, and he pointed to Reagan and said, in all seriousness, you know, the best thing about him, his hair. I said, well, there was also that whole bringing down communism thing, waiting for the button next to the Diet Coke button to get pushed and I go through the trap door. But no, he laughed, he got it. I said to him at one point, Mr. President, you know the dog, that's unusual in the White House. He said, well, a lot of the presidents, they had a dog for political reasons. I said, no, people love dogs, that's what that is. Oh yeah, okay, that's true. I'm telling you what happened. At one point, we were walking through his amazing, it is an amazing tour of the whole house. And I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but it must have been something with the 2020 election, because I know he used the word lost. And I distinctly remember saying, wow, I never thought I'd hear you say that. He didn't get mad. He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. Look, I get it. It doesn't matter who he is at a private dinner with a comedian. It matters who he is on the world stage. I'm just taking as a positive that this person exists, because everything I've ever not liked about him was, I swear to God, absent, at least on this night with this guy. Bob, Kid Rock, told me the night before, he said, if you want to get a word in edgewise, you're going to have to cut him off. He'll just go on. Not at all. I've had so many conversations with prominent people who are much less connected, people who don't look you in the eye, people who don't really listen because they just want to get to their next thing, people whose response to things you say just doesn't track, like, what? None of that with him. And he mostly steered the conversation to, what do you think about this? I know, your mind is blown, so's mine. There were so many moments when I hit him with a joke or contradicted something, and no problem. At dinner, he was asking me about the nuclear situation in Iran in a very genuine, hey, I think you're a smart guy, I want your opinion sort of way. And I said, well, obviously you're privy to things about it I'm not, but for what it's worth, I thought the Obama deal was worth letting play out because we made Iran destroy 98% of the uranium, and they were 15 years away from a bomb. And then I said to him, but we got rid of that. You got rid of that. He didn't get mad or call me a left-wing lunatic. He took it in. I told him I thought parts of his plan for Gaza were wacky, but that I had supported him in the idea that Gaza could be Dubai instead of hell. I told him he was wrong when he tweeted the night before that I was critical of all things Trump. Not true. Check the tapes. Moving Israel's embassy to Jerusalem, loved it. The border did need to be controlled. I'm glad the cops are getting their morale back. DEI had gone too far. Biological men shouldn't be playing women's sports. Europe should pay for their defense. And of course, it makes sense that Arab countries should take in Arab refugees, like the million Syrians who wound up in Germany when Saudi Arabia took none. He said to me, you're right, they took none. I said, well, you should remind your boyfriend in Saudi Arabia that the next time you see him. He laughed. I never felt I had to walk on eggshells around him. And honestly, I voted for Clinton and Obama, but I would never feel comfortable talking to them the way I was able to talk with Donald Trump. That's just how it went down. Make of it what you will. Me, I feel it's emblematic of why the Democrats are so unpopular these days. He was even okay when I checked him on the orangutan lawsuit. He was. You know, he said to Dana White, you know, Bill said my father was an orangutan, and I really love my father. And I said, well, Mr. President, I did that because I didn't like what you were doing regarding Obama's birth origins. I thought that was low. Again, no anger, just a little smile, as if to say, yeah, I get it. The most surreal part of the whole night was when I got home. I flew back right after the dinner, and I'm in bed watching 60 Minutes from the night before. And there's Trump in one of their stories, standing at a podium in a room that looked to me like one of the rooms and places we'd just been in. And he's ranting, disgusting, you're a terrible person. And I'm like, who's that guy? What happened to Glinda the Good Witch? And why can't we get the guy I met to be the public guy? And I'm not saying it's our responsibility to do that. It's not. I'm just reporting exactly what I saw over 2.5 hours. I went into the mine, and that's what's down there. A crazy person doesn't live in the White House. A person who plays a crazy person on TV a lot lives there, which I know is fucked up. It's just not as fucked up as I thought it was. And I have no illusions now that I'm back to work at my job that he might start a new list. Because I don't have a good feeling and will be critical about a lot of what he's doing, the trade war and disappearing people, ruling by decree, threatening judges, gutting the government with glee. But I also think he now understands I have a job to do, or at least he did on this night, because he said to me early on that he'd seen our last episode, which was the Friday before this dinner. And he said, I thought maybe you'd be nice, but you hit me really hard. I did, because I'm not going to pull my punches that presidents get to propose a third term for themselves. He understood that, and without animus. That doesn't mean he's not going to try to do it. At one point, I said to him, you're scaring people. Do you really want to be scaring your own citizens so much? And I know now you're all saying, and what did he say to that? Honestly, I don't remember. But it wasn't, okay, I'll stop. So MAGA fans, don't worry. Your boy gave me nothing. Just hats. Hats and a very generous amount of time and a willingness to listen and accept me as a possible friend, even though I'm not MAGA, which was the point of the dinner. My favorite part of the whole night was we were standing in the blowjob room. We were. And he said, you know, I've heard from a lot of people who really like that we're having this dinner. Not all, but a lot. And I said, same. A lot of people told me they loved it, but not all. And we agreed. The people who don't even want us to talk, we don't like you. Don't talk, as opposed to what? Writing the same editorial for the millionth time and making 25-hour speeches into the wind? Really, that's what liberals have? He takes the piss out of everybody else and we can hold ours? Okay, that's my report. You can hate me for it, but I'm not a liar. Trump was gracious and measured, and why he isn't that in other settings, I don't know, and I can't answer, and it's not my place to answer. I'm just telling you what I saw, and I wasn't high.
Now that's coming from, again, somebody who majority of the time talks about how much he dislikes him. And that's fine. Again, we're all entitled to our own opinions. But he saw another side. But again, being a world leader, I think we saw that this past 4 years, on being checked out doesn't work. We got walked all over. He's tough. He's tough when it comes to business. But there's a method to his madness. And there's a lot of people who just don't understand that and don't really know the real side of him because the media doesn't want you to know that. They don't want you to know the real side of him. They want you to keep hating, keeping us divided, and that's what it's all about. But there's Bill Maher. You know, I would have liked if Bill Maher would have said, you know what, I was wrong. I misjudged him. but he stayed kind of middle of the road, but he was kind enough to be pretty honest. So I'll take it. Again, because I know better. A lot of people know better, but there is a small percentage of people, not all, that are really hook, line, and sinker on what, calling him all kinds of names, Nazi, crazy, just all this kind of stuff. And it's the farthest from the truth. I mean, it just, at that point, it's just plain stupid. But these are the times we live in. Speaking of which, I've been getting a lot of people that are constantly like, with Elon, we're switching gears, but we're staying. Now we're going to go to the videos, okay? To where I want you to take in consideration that all this is not bullshit. There's reality to this stuff, but the media is not going to help the current administration. They're just not going to. Majority of the media. Their job is to kick and scream every step of the way. Murderers are good, illegal aliens are good, everything is good, and no matter what they do, and we're footing the bill, and it's all good. But here's another side. Elon Musk explaining, because I've had people talking to me, Peter, if he's doing all this good, why aren't people getting arrested? So here you go. And again, I'm sorry it's on Fox News, but you're not going to get CNN or MSNBC to play this stuff because they don't want you to hear the truth. Here you go.
You said the other day you uncovered some evidence that there was massive Social Security fraud and that arrests were imminent. Yes. What can you tell us about that? And what can you tell us about what you've seen politicians do to make massive amounts of money off of the federal government, like Nancy Pelosi? Please.
Yes. So we've encountered, there's really so much for it. It's deciding what should be prosecuted first, because it's such a long list. You have to actually prioritize the list. We convey the list to the Department of Justice. The DOJ has a process that they go through to review and think about it. The wheels of justice turn slowly. In fact, obviously, I have a maniacal sense of urgency. So to me, when I see that terrible fraud has happened, I'm like, why haven't we arrested someone already? But as the saying goes, the wheels of justice turn slowly but surely. And I think probably the person that stole 400,000 Social Security numbers, at least, maybe more, will be arrested hopefully this week. With respect to the non-governmental organizations, these sort of fake NGOs, I think there needs to be a number of arrests in that regard as well, because these are fake charities where mostly Democrats, I don't want to be clear. There's sometimes a little bit of Republican in there because they sometimes throw the Republicans a bone to say, "Hey, be quiet about this." So that's where you start getting the uniparty thing going on. Mm-hmm. But it is overwhelmingly to Democrats, and they give give billions of dollars to NGOs run by Democrats that then go through a whole network of additional NGOs. It's a giant money laundering scheme. Really, at this point, I think the word NGO and money laundering are almost synonymous.
Again, Elon reports what he has found. It goes into other hands, and then the wheel starts slowing down because it's bureaucracy. Also, I'm being told that YouTube might have taken me down. Go figure. Again, I don't see the stream. It's very possible. But we will keep going, and we'll see what happens. But it kind of sucks. But that's, again, the way it goes. Give me 1 second here. Yeah. So Elon's doing his job. He reports to, his bosses, Trump, the whole deal. And then it goes, let's face it. Even all the administrations right now, they got their hands full. He's got them running 90 miles an hour. So, what's really going on? Who knows? It bothers me when YouTube shuts me down. I think they shut me down again. But I'll deal with that later. Right now, we still keep going. Show must go on. I'm used to it. So speaking of Social Security, he said they found all these Social Security, all this money going out, and these Social Security cards and numbers, and to all illegals, and we're paying for all their free health care and all that. But don't believe me. Here you go. This is why I'm a little upset. It's because we can't barely afford it. We can't. If we were taking care of our homeless and the mentally ill on the streets and all that, I'd say, okay, we have room for stuff to do more things for others, because we do plenty all over the world. I mean, God knows we need Sesame Street in Afghanistan, millions of dollars going to that. If everybody was taken care of in the whole world, and everybody's sitting pretty, and we're all, everybody's bellies are full and all that, I don't think I'd have nearly as much of a problem, but I do, because we are in debt and we're going backwards. But here's your Social Security scam that a lot of people, he says, this is what's killing me. The media screams that Elon Musk is stealing your Social Security, and the man is out there trying to save your Social Security money. But who are you going to believe? Here you go.
A massive discovery by Doge, by Elon Musk, Department of Government Efficiency. What do you think it is? What do you think it could be?
And then the president on Thursday told us that there was an incredible discovery that the Doge team had made. He called it horrible and incredible. Can you reveal that yet? Give us details on what it was about?
There has been a discovery. I hate to leave you hanging on a cliff, but I don't want to get ahead of the president on that. But I can confirm there has been a discovery. It's just not quite yet ready for release.
Sure. Horrible, and incredible. A discovery that the Doge team has made. Maybe. What was this? Devory Darkins posted this one that says, wow. DOGE has found that the government gave illegals work authorization paperwork just a few months after filing for asylum here in the U.S., allowing them to work in this country for years before their legal hearing. The immigration department mailed them a Social Security card without any interview or identity verification. And it gets worse.
Fox to reveal what's really going on. Doge exposed our immigration asylum disaster. That was the tip of the iceberg. Now, here's the story. Doge has found that immigration gave a work authorization document to illegals just 5 months after they filed for asylum. That document allowed them to work while they waited to hear whether their asylum request had been accepted or denied. So they could work as an illegal, knowing it would take years before their case was heard. The immigration department mailed them a Social Security number. No interview, no proof of identity. Just put it in the mail. Here's your number. In 2021, Doge says 270,000 new aliens were issued Social Security numbers, 590,000 in 2022, 964,000 in 2023, and 2.1 million in 24, right before Biden left office. Doge also discovered that 1.3 million aliens are now receiving Medicaid. Millions received driver's licenses, some registered to vote, and Doge says some actually did vote. Try and square that against Democrat claims that Musk is destroying Social Security and cutting Medicaid. He's not destroying. He's weeding out people who don't qualify. Who is really guilty of misinformation in this case? It is not Elon Musk.
Free everything, folks. Free, free, free. Do you realize that people have spent years trying to come into this country legally through the courts, with lawyers, spending thousands and thousands of dollars, and then all of a sudden, these people unvetted, whoever comes through, it's like, not only are they coming through, it's like, here, take this Social Security number too. And here, now you got free Medicare, Medicaid, free, free, free. This is what I have a problem with. Come on, drug dealers. Come on, MS-13. Trende de Agua, TDA, whatever the hell however you want to call them. Come on. Drug traffickers, sex traffickers. Come on. Come on in. And here's a Social Security card too. Don't worry about the people who spent, years trying to get in, legitimate people trying to get in. Don't worry about it. Here, free, free, free. The U.S. citizens won't mind. There's a lot of people who mind. Again, God forbid, I hope nothing in your area, your family, your surroundings, your town, your city, something doesn't go wrong due to all this flood of these people. I'm not saying they're all bad, but there's a bunch that came in because they know how to take advantage of a situation. They were flooding the United States. You know that the MS-13 is in every single state in this country? Has info, even my little old town in the Gulf Coast. Yeah. And they're unmanageable. The police don't have a grip on them. It's that bad. So when you see of these women that have gotten killed, these mothers and all this, you just thank your lucky gods it wasn't your family. Because I had to watch it again today about the horror of what happened. Not that your average American citizen, crazy person, can't do that. But my point being is we have enough problems as there is. We don't need to just let in knowing we're asking for trouble. And that's what's happened. We've gotten the trouble we're asking for. And it's still just the tip of the iceberg, even though they're clamping down really, really quick. Lonnie says you pissed Miss Clinton off. Yeah, maybe I did, but you know, whatever happened, Lonnie, it's running. I don't know. I can't. I'm kind of doing a show now. Show must go on. See, you switched gears, switch channels. But either way, my point being is, again, if we had just taken a bunch of people and dumped them on your doorstep and said, here, they're going to live with you, how would you feel? You know, how would your sorrow and your feelings feel when these people just come in? It's like, well, and you have to support them too. You have to support them, feed them, clothe them, you know, and they're going to live in your house, and you don't know who they are. There might be a whole house full of really amazing people. But chances are they're probably not. I can understand these people got the message because our previous administration said, come on, I get it. But then along with the people who are looking for a better life, the bad people said, now's our chance. We're just all going in. It's a free for all. And that's what we got. That's what we got. For all those who think the orange man is crazy and, you know, we're having all these tariffs and, oh my God, the tariffs. Again, I try to tell you, they're painting him to be because they don't want you, because he's screwing up every politician who's been lining their pockets for decades. That's why, because he doesn't care about them. I truly, truly believe he wants to go down in history as making this country the best it will ever be. He's resetting everything because we've gotten so out of control and out of hand. And again, if so far it hasn't affected you, that's why you don't care and you think that he's so wrong. I'm willing to take that chance. I'm not betting against him because, again, he's not an idiot. And he's at a point in his life to where he's got nothing to lose and all to gain because he wants to be that guy. Let him suffice his ego. If he makes this country better, let him. But believing what the news says daily, they bash. The sky is falling. Stick with me. There's more stuff I want to show you. And hopefully something will start to gain traction in your brain. Even if you disagree with me. I don't care. I'm just bringing things to your attention that the news doesn't want you to see. But here, this is some more about, you know, how stupid the orange man is.
You may not like the art of the deal, but the results, they're undeniable. Over 75 countries are now begging for trade deals with the U.S. Why? Because Trump used leverage. He dropped the hammer with high tariffs, and then hit pause. Gave them 90 days. Tariffs drop to 10% if they come to the table. That's not chaos. That's strategy. China tried to play tough. They're now facing 125% tariffs. Isolated. Last one standing. And the U.S. holding all the cards. Now here's the part most people miss. Just yesterday, Trump said no negotiations. Today, he adjusted. Because the bond market shifted. The dynamics changed. And unlike most politicians, Trump moves when the ground shifts. That's not weakness. That's how you win. And this is next level. Trump said that he respects President Xi, calls him a friend. He doesn't blame him. He blames our own weak leaders, the ones who made bad deals, or no deals at all. That's the art of the deal. Set the terms, show strength, keep your options open. And now, even Xi is reading the book. This is the reset. This is leverage. Welcome to the art of the deal.
Do you seriously think that China cares about the United States? Does anybody who's watching and or listening seriously think? I mean, we created China. I mean, the current state that they're in, you know, making all the stuff, and I mean, they make everything. But do you seriously think that China cares about the United States? China wants the United States to be part of China. You don't see people from America fleeing this country to go to China. You see people from China fleeing China to come to this country. Enough said. Again, the media twists everything. The media puts these thoughts into your head. He's crazy. The sky is falling. He's segregated us from everybody, blah, blah, blah. You know that right now, actually, the other day, you know, like when he set these tariffs and all that, over 90 countries already have phoned him. And now I say that, but by the time this show aired tonight, it's over 130 countries have already like, okay, we want to talk. They know. But the media wants to make it as if we're going down in flames. There's pros and cons to everything. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And we finally have a president that says, we got to do this. This has been going on for too long. It's not in the best interest of this country, the United States of America. And I'm willing to give him that chance. I don't think he's going to be able to get to everything in 4 years. But it's a damn good start. Again, here's what's really scary about the tariffs. The media leads you to believe like we're going to absorb the cost on everything and we're not going to be able to afford anything and it's going to be so hard and we're going down in flames. But this is really how the tariffs are going to affect. And it's not going to affect us. It's going to, well, don't believe me here. Check this out.
Chinese producers are all over social media right now, and they're exposing just who is targeted by Trump's tariffs. And it's not the American consumers, and it's not the Chinese producers. It's actually our international corporations who have sold out American prosperity for their own profits. Let me illustrate. Let's use this example at Nike. Now, these are fictitious numbers, just for example. But let's say that Nike buys shoes from this company that manufactures Nike shoes for $10 a Nike shoe, which isn't very far off. Nike turns around and sells that shoe at retail for $100. Here's the interesting part about tariffs. You're not paying tariffs on the retail price. This is not a tax in the classic sense. The way the economists who are bought and paid for are trying to conflate it as. It is a tax on the import. This means with a 25% tariff, Nike's going to have to pay $2.50 to the US government every time it imports a Nike shoe at $10. So this $2.50 gets remitted to the American government, to American citizens. Now Nike's cost $10 for the shoe, $2.50 for the import tax. This means they're netting $87 per shoe. Now that's net, not profit. There are going to be other costs that are going to have to come from that. But you can see that the increase in cost is $2.50. So let's say that Nike passes the entire cost onto the consumer, even a little more just because of the fear of tariffs. $103 a shoe now. That is the impact of a 25% tariff. So what the Chinese producers on TikTok are saying, instead of the American consumer buying it for $103, or let's just say that the company Nike eats all $2.50 of the tariff and still sells it for $100, you're way better off over here, paying directly to China, including the tariff, $12.50 a shoe plus shipping. So as you can see, the tariffs are not meant to hurt consumers. They're not meant to hurt China. They don't really affect China at all. They're meant to protect American industry. They're meant to protect Americans from their corporations who will sell them out for a profit. So if you look hard, you'll notice that the people who are screaming about how bad tariffs are for consumers, it's these companies right here. It's Wall Street. It's all the investors in these companies, because they don't want American citizens to realize these companies have sold them out and that they're not doing Americans any favors.
And that is a fact. It's the corporate, big corporate. You're screwing with them. Again, they don't care about us. We're just the suckers who keep them alive. We're the ones that make them rich. Don't believe me. Don't believe these videos. Just keep it in the back of your head for a later date. Remember, folks, knowledge is power. Speaking of knowledge is power, does anybody have, I'm sure everybody has, that friend that is just stupid? Everybody's got somebody that they're going, oh my God, he's so friggin' stupid. But yet their beliefs are so definitive. Even though he's stupid, he believes what he believes because he is stupid, and there's no self-awareness. But you got to give him credit for believing wholeheartedly, even though he's completely out of his mind. There's a theory behind that. And there's a lot of people that are just, I don't know if it's stupid or they're just not aware. And so they just kind of take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and come up with something that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but they stick to it. Here, again, we'll get back to that. So check this out.
Engage in personal insults.
I don't, but you
what
do.
You lack in a legitimate point, you make up for in personal
I don't, you
personal
do.
insults. The point I am making is in this new world order, we are looking at countries, whether or not they're an adversary or ally, it is being determined on what kind of deal we can get. And we cannot govern, we cannot legislate that way. We are increasingly isolated on the world stage.
No, we're not.
So if you want to engage in personal
We're
insults,
not
if I were
isolated.
you, I would reserve that for your party, who
We're
is
not
increasingly
isolated.
isolated. Our position
outside of the United.
You've probably seen this clip by now. It speaks for itself. But we're not here to pile on. We're here to ask a deeper question. Have you ever heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect? It's a psychological paradox, simple and scary. It says this: the less a person knows, the more likely they are to think they know everything. Why? Because they lack the knowledge to realize what they don't know. Or in less polite terms, dumb people don't know they're dumb because they're dumb. You see, self-awareness requires a minimum level of intelligence. And when you're below that line, you're not just wrong, you're confidently wrong. This is why the loudest person in the room is often the least informed. It's why social media is full of bold declarations and bad takes. It's why some people can't admit when they're wrong, because they don't even know they are. And yet, this isn't just about Tiffany Cross. It's about a culture addicted to opinion, but allergic to reflection. True intelligence isn't how loud you speak. It's how deeply you think. And the wisest people are often the quietest, because they understand how much they still have to learn. So before you speak, before you judge, before you declare someone else a fool, ask yourself, do I know what I'm talking about? Or do I just think I do? Ignorance isn't a crime, but defending it with arrogance, that's a plague.
That's deep. That's a deep theory. Dumb people don't know they're dumb because they're dumb. I used to say that a lot. And I catch hell for it because everything is politically correct now. But I said it in a lovingly way that retarded people don't know they're retarded because they're retarded. Whatever title you want to put on it, I'm not sugarcoating this. God bless them. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's a fact. It's like I just said when we were talking about when I was talking about that show that's on TV, Love Off the Spectrum or whatever it is, with all these Down syndrome people and they're dating, and it's a big dating show with Down syndrome people. It's like they're just doing what they do. They don't know any better or any worse. They think they're normal. Define normal nowadays. But you get my point. If you're not aware, like I know things that I'm good at and things that I'm not as good at. And I've been wrong before about things, and I'll reflect on it and go, shit, I didn't know any better back then. Or whenever. But I'm aware. I have a pretty good grip on like where I'm at and where I stand and what comes out of my mouth, whether you like what comes out of my mouth or not. I'm aware of what I'm saying. And I'm saying it for a reason. But the fact that that statement he made, dumb people don't know they're dumb because they're dumb. Think about it. And that doesn't say a whole lot with all these people that are getting pissed off about our current, I'm telling you, I had another one. I love this. Yeah. Bless their hearts. You from the South? Bless their hearts. I thought about that one a lot because I've been getting called a lot of names lately. A lot of names. Just pissed off people. They're just pissed off, which leads me to what I was saying. You get a lot of people that are hell-bent. They are dead straight solid. And lately, especially a few more that I really love, I'm watching them really go off the deep end. I mean, just now it's turning into hatred. I mean, it's constant, like they're constantly blasting, like in capital letters, everything. To where I just watched somebody that I love very much also go into, if you come on my page and try to challenge me for my beliefs, when they try to you can just unfriend me, or I'm unfriending you. And it's like, there we go. You've just officially made it to the top of the heap right there. And I don't say nothing because I love that person, and I do, because I'm not going to let this, because see, I am self-aware of like, I'm not going to let that bother me. If that's what you want to believe and you're too closed-minded to possibly hear something else to consider from somebody who's pretty reasonable. I'm not saying it's me. I was talking about the person that was challenging this other person. Well, that's on you. But that's the problem. It's like, no, this is it. You suck, and I'm good. I don't do that. I'm telling you, I'm just putting it out there for you to either live and learn or not. For the 400th time, as was told to me, everybody has their own journey. Sometimes you just have to let some go. Just let them go. I love you. Take care. But I won't cut anybody out for these purposes. You'd have to do me a whole lot wrong, worse than this. This is nothing. This is just debate, some education, and it's good to have these opinions to go back and forth. We're all not like-minded. I'm not saying we all have to think alike. That's what I'm saying. For this one topic, there's too many other things that we used to love and talk about and be around and do other than this. We never used to talk about this crap. But it's gotten so bad that we have to talk about this crap because it's gotten so bad. They have poisoned so many people. The media has poisoned people's minds. I mean, poisoned. And it shows every day. If you're on social media, you'll see it. And again, it's not because I disagree with them. I just see the way they're thinking. And I see the way they put it out. And then when you get to the F you, get off my page thing. And these people are all doing it. Our government and politicians, they're not doing all this saving democracy, and all this stuff. And they're not doing it for you. They're doing it for them. saving their pockets. Bernie Sanders. Hang on a second. Oh. Some younger people like Bernie Sanders, but Bernie Sanders has never gained any traction. And there's a reason behind it. Because what he's saying kind of is better than some of the other bullshit, but it's still not good enough. Oligarchy. Now here's our new word of the week, oligarchy. Every week there's a different word. Saving democracy, oligarchy, the oligarchy. We have to save the oligarchy. There's too much. There's oligarchy going on. Bull malarkey, oligarchy. I can't think of anything else that rhymes with it. But he's been a broken record for 40 years. And if you don't believe me, this is why I love tape. Now, he's not as bad as a lot of these politicians, but it just doesn't work. Socialism, my friends, does not work. It sounds great to the younger people because they're going, why not let the government take care of us? Because they don't want to do shit. So they're kind of buying into it. It's going like, yeah, sure, sounds like a great idea. Let the government take care of us. Because they've never lived in that situation to really know, once it goes into play, the reality of like how socialism really isn't that great, and it pretty much sucks because it's failed. Talk to anybody who's lived in a socialist country. That's why they come running to America. But yet they want to keep on buying into this shit. Between him and OAC, it's like it's insanity, folks. But here's Bernie Sanders. Here's tape, don't lie. I love this. Here you go.
This great country of ours is moving very rapidly in the direction of oligarchy. The United States of America today is increasingly becoming an oligarchy. More and more moving toward an oligarchy. We are moving in the direction of oligarchy. We will move even more rapidly in the direction of an oligarchy. This great country is evolving into an oligarchic society. It is called oligarchy, and that is the system we are rapidly moving toward. This is a budget that moves our country rapidly into the direction of oligarchy. A handful of billionaires are moving this entire planet toward an oligarchic society.
Start off with the bad news, which is pretty bad, and that is that under Donald Trump, this country is hurtling rapidly toward oligarchy.
That's 35 or 40 years of Bernie Sanders. It says the dates on there: 1993. 83, whatever. It's all dated. Every single time. Rapid oligarchy. Oligarchy. It's really nothing but a bunch of bull malarkey. Rapid oligarchy. Well, that's 40 years and we haven't gotten there yet. Almost like climate change. In 10 years, we're gonna lose the ozone, and the ice is melting. It's a heat wave. I want to do shows on climate change because I got so much stuff to talk about because it's such bullshit. No doubt, there's things we should be conscious of, but this is all bullshit. It's ways that they keep their money grabbing, and again, there he is. That's fact. Tape don't lie. 40 years of him screaming, oligarchy, rapidly growing oligarchy. We're going to be in a oligarchic society. He's a friggin' oligarch. He's rich. I'm not. You're not. Or maybe you are. It's a big bunch of bullshit. And again, proof is in the pudding. That's 40 years. So nothing's happened in 40 years of all his oligarchy. So when's it going to happen? That's just like when the aliens are coming. It's like, when's it going to happen? I wish they would. Somebody needs to step in. I wish they quit watching and just, let's go. Let's go. Let's get some reality going here. Let's get some of those free energy making machines so everybody can have free energy in their house. You know, the stuff that they have that we aren't privy to because they don't want to destroy society and all the money making power plants and all these big, you know, it would ruin it'd ruin it all for them. They don't want that. Just like finding different ways to have better, you know, water, H2O burning cars and things like that. It would kill the oil companies. Can't let that happen. So Bernie Sanders is going around with OAC and you know, and all these rallies and all this stuff and all these protesting. Fake. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Fake. They've been bussing people in when our Kamala and all her rallies, she wasn't popular. They spent millions and millions paying. There's organizations, you can go online and find them, that they will pay you to show up and be somewhere. They need bodies. I'm going to show you. Here's some proof. I just hate it because you people buy into it. There was 35,000 people there for Bernie Sanders. Yeah. And 30,000 were paid to be there. But here, what do I know?
I don't know how you sleep at night. I would not do your job. I do not like it. So people can literally call your company and get a bunch of paid actors, if you will, to stand up there, hold signs, and scream on the street corner, because that's what your company does.
It's number one, it's not actors. We're providing activists who are truly engaged with the cause, right?
But are they? I just showed you a video of a guy going, I don't even know why I'm here. They got signs and they got sheets and they said, go say this and talk to cameras and hold signs.
It's challenging for them to get sufficient turnout to a lot of these events, compensating people, just like Dan, you're compensated for hosting your program. These are your real views on this program, but you're compensated. Our protesters,
I am, but I don't pay my viewers to watch me. So I love the fact that I can go on the street corner and say whatever the hell I want, a grievance against my government, or call my neighbor or whatever I want, because that's America. But I don't like that companies try to stage it all and hire people and set it up. It should be organic. The American people should want to come out, get on their soapbox, my show, I'm talking. They should come out and want to gather together and say, here's the cause I'm sticking up for. But you see, guys like you and the bureaucrats and the folks in D.C. love stirring up the pot between us Americans. And so you pay people to do this and you make a scene look bigger than it really is. You make an issue bigger than it truly is. And so I don't like your business. I'm going to end it there, but I appreciate you coming back on.
Those are real businesses being funded by the George Soroses and all these organizations under these NGOs and all that kind of stuff. This is what our country has turned into. And I've just been informed that YouTube is down again. I don't know if it's YouTube or I don't know if they're messing with me. I'm sure that once this is all over, there'll be some kind of, if they are messing with me, I'll get a letter from them saying that they took us down, and I'll either have to post the show afterwards and hope that they go through the whole show and find out that I'm not hurting anybody, or there's some issues there and they're not going to let me speak freely. But this is what we're up against. They're getting paid to show up. Here, say this, do that. And a lot of people, I think we showed it on last week's show, a lot of people feel that they need a purpose, and so they feel powerful because, yeah, I'm going to go and do this, and they're getting paid. A lot of people have no lives. You'd be surprised. There's people who are worthless, and if they find something to do and then they feel like they're empowered. You saw those protesters I showed you. It was last week's show. You want to talk about nuts? Really, really, I mean, these are people on the edge of reality, and they're going there doing it, and they really feel the purpose and the power of it, and they're just, again, if you saw the clips I played last week, you would understand. Total insanity. But this is the world we're living in. Last week, I also showed you a clip with Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer has been... again, they lie. He's been a politician in office for all decades upon decades, and he contradicts himself. Again, they don't care about us. 1 minute they're with the program, the next minute, how dare you? And last week it was about the tariffs, because now that Trump's in office, he's saying that Trump made the stupidest, the dumbest move ever, inciting these tariffs. But yet, only a few short years ago in 2019, we have video of him saying that this country needs tariffs. So which one is it going to be? See, this is what pisses me off. It's like, make up your mind. Now, you're entitled to change your mind if you have a good reason for it, but you never hear those reasons. But again, people just hear what they want to hear. So now I have Chuck Schumer with more lies about immigration. 1 minute immigration sucks. The next minute is we need, these people should be left alone. But this isn't my words, people. These are these actual people. That's why I say they're such assholes. They are assholes, and they need to go. They're all dirty. They are dirty, and why are you listening and buying into this crap? But this is why I'm bringing it out. These are his words, a few years apart, and how do you shift gears and change so dramatically to do a 180? Here you go.
People who enter the United States without our permission are illegal aliens, and illegal aliens should not be treated the same as people who entered the U.S. legally. Illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple. Until the American people are convinced that we will stop future flows of illegal immigration, we will make no progress on dealing with the millions of illegal immigrants who are here now. When we use phrases like undocumented workers, we convey a message to the American people that their government is not serious about combating illegal immigration, which the American people overwhelmingly oppose. If you don't think it's illegal, you're not going to say it. I think it is illegal and wrong.
There you go. A few short years ago, he said illegal immigration is wrong. And now all you hear him saying is how awful we are for sending people back, MS-13, gang members, killers, all that. This is a bad thing. That's what they're screaming and yelling. The biggest one now is the Maryland guy who is a father who we just sent back to to El Salvador, whatever. And he ain't coming back. And the media paints him to be this loving father, innocent, who we just plucked up and just decided to send him back. No, my friends. No. He's a MS-13 gang member who happens to have a child in this country, because that's what they do, who got under the radar. They picked him up in 2019. They were going to send him back, and some judge said no. He's been proven to be. And again, just let go and slips under the radar and just keeps on doing whatever the hell he's doing. Again, it's all good until something goes wrong in your neighborhood, God forbid, to your family, to your child, to somebody you love, to your friend or family. And then you'll sing a different tune. It's like, why do we have to wait until something goes wrong? I am with Trump getting rid of all the shit that just got flushed into us from South America. Come in legally. Simple, just like all the rest of everybody did. But this is the bullshit, and time again, week and week after week, every week they throw something at you, some narrative, some word, and then it fails, and they go, okay, next, and they jump on another bandwagon. I've been hearing so many on TikToks and Facebooks about April 20th is the date where we're going to have martial law. And these friggin' nut jobs that are screaming this, where do you even feel, or has there been any indication or something that there's going to be martial law? I mean, that's super stupid, because at least come up with something that's kind of believable. But you got people that are that gullible that will believe that. Not a whole lot, but you'll have some. Martial law. And then the dates pass, and then that just goes, silent and on. Okay, next. Aren't you getting tired of this? You should be. But here, every week, something new. It's getting so old. That's why I'm saying you've got to start saying, this is kind of strange. Okay, I'm starting to catch on, because every week some new tragedy, this and that, and then it goes away, never happens. And then they come up with another one. And let's get everybody fired up again. It's about now the guy's a father. And they got some congressman that just flew to El Salvador to bring him back. It's like, what a political stunt. He's not coming back with him. Nothing's going to happen. It's all to get airtime. Just more and more attention to make it sound like Orange Man bad. It's like tough shit. Illegal immigrant, MS-13 gang member, bad. That's simple. And if he's so good, let him come live with you. I'm a reasonable guy. But this is ridiculous. Here's the band Beard. I love this guy. Talking about the same thing about every week. It's nonstop. I'll give these guys credit. They're not easy quitters, but they don't want reality and a good life for this country for their own greedy reasons. They want that new world order that George Soros and Klaus Schwab was trying to, get us all under their roof. And then we'd definitely be held, minions. But it ain't working. Thank God. Here's the band Beard from TikTok.
Well, today's April 14th, and yet again, another extremist ideology, left hope and wish, has gone by the wayside. See, you guys have become so radicalized that you think it's okay and acceptable to wish for the unaliving of the President of the United States, to celebrate attempts of the unaliving of the President of the United States, and to wish predictions of the unaliving of the President of the United States would come true. But like everything else you guys have done, it's fallen to the ground with the inevitable thud. He wasn't going to get elected. He wasn't going to get inaugurated. He wasn't going to get into the White House. He was going to tear up the Constitution. April 5th rallies, April 12th, and what do you have next? The 19th, and then the martial law scare on the 20th? Yet again, there will be a fail and a fail. And every time you fail, it shows the world exactly who you are and the extremist ideologies that you have, as you call everybody a fascist and refuse to look in the mirror for just one single second to realize you are exactly what you're calling everybody else.
Make sense? It should. At least I hope so. Don't you get it? Every week, some new bullshit line, and it never really happens. And after a while, you got to start catching on. You have to start catching on, except for the ones with the blinders that refuse to ever. It's like, I'm on this mission, I jumped on this train, and we're going right off the rails with it. Because they're going down with it. Democrat to the bone. I told you, it doesn't make a difference anymore. What makes difference is common sense, reality. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring this to you because I can. And as I said earlier in the show, I'm not doing this to piss people off. I'm not doing this because I have nothing better to do. I'm not doing this because I feel I'm right. I told you, I don't want you believing what I say. I want you to see what the others say. Take it into account. Leave these clips and these thoughts in the back of your mind, and maybe something will eventually start coming together. Okay? Because I'm going to leave you with this. Because at the end of the day, right here, this show, I talk about all kinds of things. We talk about alcoholism, drug addiction, depression, some funny stuff, book authors, life, happiness, health, current events. Sky's the limit. I get my hands on what I think is valuable and informative to help people. Even the current events, because I truly believe right now we got a leaky ship, and there's a lot of people that need to come to some reality, some realization, and the hate has to start ceasing. Although that's from within, they're going to have to work on themselves. But that's why I bring this information. Not for you. I'm not trying to shove it down your throat. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just showing you that there's another side to this coin. And you might want to take some of these things into consideration, because then when you think about it, like the band Beard just said, everything they keep screaming and talking about, majority of it, if not all of it, nothing of it comes into fruition. They just keep saying it and then they just drop off, and you just accept that they just dropped off. It's like, hey, whatever happened to that? Because they move on and get you all fired up about something else every damn day, every week. So like I said, I'm going to leave you with this, because at the end of the day, I get called all kinds of names, you know, from the people who disagree. They can't just say I disagree and give me an explanation. They just call me names. And I'm fine. You know why? Because I'm not worried about the people that will never be my audience. The ones that do watch or listen, even if they don't believe me, even if they choose to judge me, they need to be here, or they wouldn't be here. I know that they are getting something out of this, whether they know it or not. And all I focus on is doing this show. That's it. My name is Peter G. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. I just want to also remind you again, we are in weird times. Please be kind. Please. Life is too damn short. You don't have to be an ass, but you don't have to take a bunch of crap from people either. That's a fact. I hope you take everything I say and just hold on to it and refer to it at a different time. I'm not doing this just to blow hot air. Truly hope that somebody's getting something out of this. All right? As always, my name is Peter G. I love you guys. I truly do. And peace out.
Peter G Show. Peter